Hey guys, it's Jake. In the last video we worked on a daily reward system, and in this video we're going to focus on making the players chaotic. So currently what's going on with the game is the civilians, they just walk straight forward, and when the player hits them, they have a knockback and they become a ragdoll. And that's all good and fine, but what doesn't make sense with the whole scene is that when you hit a civilian, the rest of them don't react at all to the situation. And so what happens is they'll keep walking straight into you, and it feels kind of weird because that doesn't really happen in real life. So I wanted to create chaos. So the first thing that I wanted to make was an animation so that they run instead of, so they have a walking animation and a running animation. And this running animation is going to make it so when the player hits one of them, all of them are going to, in their surrounding areas, are just going to start booking it because they want to get away. So what I did for the beginning of it is I just made a system that when you hit any character, the rest of them just immediately start running. But from here, the panic, it was good, but it didn't really make sense because some of the players would run directly into, or not the players, but the civilians would run directly into the player. So I created this thing where the players, no, I keep saying that, the civilians are more self-aware of what's around them. So now, when you hit a civilian and you get next to another one, they'll try and dodge by running out of the way. You can still hit them, but it's a little bit harder and it adds a little bit of fun to it as well. So now the scene works, you know, where like the player's hitting them and they're all running away and they're aware of their surroundings pretty much. But it didn't really work because they're all so silent. So I needed to make some sound effects. And I wanted to emulate kind of like a panic situation. And the best video game that I remember that has something similar would be Zoo Tycoon, the original one. Where the kids are screaming when you unleash like a T-Rex or something. I loved that game so much and I wanted to have something similar. They have like 3 to 4 different scream sound effects that they cycle through to create an atmosphere of terror. Whereas, so I needed to create a few sound effects for both male and female and then just kind of mix between them. So the first thing I had to do in my apartment is I had to start screaming my lungs out.
Oh no! Run! Run! Help me, please! No! No!
The next thing I wanted to work on was a way to transition from the title screen to actually playing the game. And the way I had it set up before was that there was this time limit before you can actually start moving your character after you press or you tap to play. But that doesn't really give a clear indication of when the game's actually going to start. So like you might accidentally be holding your phone too much and then it just like jars you to the left or right and you can die because of that. So I created this ready, go statement and just had my wife come and voice act it for me. So while testing the game, I noticed a few problems, and if you follow me on Twitter, you probably already know what this is, but the weight paintings for some of the models that added like hair pieces to them, they weren't actually attached to the head bone. So like a good example would be Kendra. Kendra's ponytail would rip off her body if you hit her and with enough force. And it created like some weird looking effects, and it needed to be adjusted. So I went and I adjusted the weight paints for the models with extensions of hair, meaning like some with the front bangs, Kendra with her pony, and Jesus with his man bun of sorts, the Sokka hairstyle. But when I got that working, no more problems after the weight paint was finished. So that was good. So the next thing I really wanted to work on was filling out the tiles to make it, there's a lot of blank space at the moment where you can see off the edge of the tile and it just like into an endless void. And also the main kicker of this whole problem was I believe it was the right turn. Because on a left turn tile I have the movie theater and on a T tile I have the beach. But on my right turn it's just blank emptiness, and that's not any good. So I was thinking that, and I was brainstorming with my wife for some like ideas of what buildings I would like to incorporate. and she suggested a bowling alley, and I thought, that sounds great. So I reused part of the building from the theater, and I just modified it a little bit and added some bowling pins at the top to really set it in that that was a bowling alley. So I thought it looked good, and when I implemented it into the scene, it looked great as well, and it fit, I think personally, the style of the game. So it works really well. So as I was playing the other tiles of trying to fill them out and everything, I had to make sure that the tiles were flowing well in the canyon as well. And you know, I mean, it's good, you know, but I thought it could be a little bit more fun if I added in some boulders falling off of, or on a certain tile, if the boulders were coming down and you had to dodge them, and it was physics-based, so it was a random variation of them just hitting each other and bouncing all around. And so yeah, I created that, and to do this effect, I needed to really sell it, I needed a sound effect of boulders coming crashing down, and I also needed to add some screen shaking effects to really like make you feel like boulders are crashing around you. And I thought it turned out pretty well. So that'll be it for this devlog. If you guys want to follow the project and get notified of things earlier before the devlogs come out, like I said earlier in this video, I do post on Twitter, and you'll see some little sneak peeks before the devlog actually comes out. Besides that, I'm also on Instagram, and obviously the main place to get your content with me is on YouTube. And if you guys want to play my other game, Crosswalk the game is on the App Store right now, and I'll have a link in the description for you guys to download it. And yeah, thanks for watching.